Ooh, how do I feel about prints? I think these days, I know economically it's pretty tough for a lot of people. I mean, as an artist, I always love it when an original gets a new home. That's fantastic. It's really good. But it's, when you're selling a work for three and a half thousand dollars, and you should value your work, should value your time and your expertise, then that can be a little bit tricky to come by. I mean, there are certainly collectors in the world for sure, but I mean, you can probably see behind me against the wall there in protective foam is a canvas that's, I think, 4 by 5 foot, so 1.2 by 1.5 meters, fairly big. You'd have to have a big wall space to be able to hang that from, and I think it's probably the only one I have is behind the works that it's storing. So that's where prints come in. Prints can be a lot more affordable. For example, maybe an 8 by 10 print of something might cost $30. That same artwork, excuse me, might be $3,000. So it's 1% of what it would cost for the original. Plus, you can get it in different sizes. Some of my prints are 5 by 7s, all the way up to 11 by 14s, and even things like giclées, which are maybe 2 foot by 3 foot, depending on what people want. So you can choose the artwork you want at a good quality, at a good size. So you could have, say, next to a staircase, you could have some smaller prints, all those similar sizes of works that are actually much bigger for a fraction of the cost. So I think that's why I think it's not doing yourself a disservice. It's just making your art available to more people. And it's an option that they wouldn't have had in the past. So these days, very easy. You can go to my website, fredwhitsonart.com, and there's a page there that is dedicated to prints. So you can choose the size you want, the print you want, and it will just be delivered straight to your door. Yeah, the range is growing all the time as I'm producing new works and going through the digital files that I've got, photos that I've taken of my own work. I'm adding those to the list of prints that are available. But the safest way, if you want to keep up to date what's coming out, is just go to my website, join the newsletter. You won't be inundated. I promise you won't be getting an email every day like some newsletters that I've joined. It'll be regular, but it won't be flooding your inbox. But that way you'll be kept informed of what new prints are available, and also specials. Like, for example, we're 2 months before Christmas, so I'm going to be launching some discounts for Christmas so that people can have some options for Christmas gifts. Or getting jealous of other artists and kind of questioning your own work. Yep, definitely, that's me. I heard from someone once that, this is true in any discipline. Basically, there are always going to be people better than you, and there are always going to be people not as skilled as you. So, and comparison is also the death of joy. So if you're constantly comparing yourself to other people, then you're kind of sapping yourself of your own joy in your own creation. I think the only thing you need to do is just be a better artist than you were yesterday. Learn some new skills. Try to break outside the box as well. Self-doubt's just nasty. It's a toxic weed. It just gets in there and it does nothing positive. So it's valuable looking at other people's work. You might get an idea for a new technique. You can run with that. Maybe it's something that doesn't resonate with you. Maybe you'll discover something new. Maybe you'll combine two techniques that you've seen from two different artists and come up with something new. And that does resonate with you, and you can run away with that and take it further. So I think it's important to shake things up a bit. At one stage, I wanted to try something different, so I primed a board ready for painting with something completely different that had some grit to it. I made myself use colors that I would normally very seldom use, especially on the scale that I was. And I made myself use brushes and other painting tools that I would not use. Just completely different stuff. So I wouldn't tend to just go clunk back into the rails that I tend to do. I tend to, while I have these lofty plans, I'm going to try this different. If I'm not careful, I find myself just going back onto the rails and doing what I usually do, which may not be a bad thing, but it's not being experimental either.